Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Businesses with an annual turnover of up to 40 lakh rupees are GST exempt, says Finance Ministry. Total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country crosses 23 lakh. Recovery rate improves to 75.27%. 500-bed COVID-19 makeshift hospital financed by PM Cares Fund Trust inaugurated at Patna in Bihar. Government extends validity of motor vehicle documents till 31st of December and Centre constitutes National Council for Transgender Persons. The Ministry of Finance today said that businesses with an annual turnover of up to 40 lakh rupees are GST exempt. Initially, this limit was 20 lakh rupees. In a tweet, Finance Ministry said, additionally, those with a turnover up to 1.5 crore rupees can opt for the composition scheme and pay only 1% tax. It said once GST was implemented, the tax rate on a large number of items was brought down. As of now, the 28% rate is almost solely restricted to sin and luxury items. Out of a total of about 230 items in the 28% slab, about 200 items have been shifted to lower slabs. The ministry also informed that significant reliefs have been extended to the construction sector, particularly the housing sector, which has been placed at the 5% tax rate. GST on affordable housing has been reduced to 1%. It said that the taxpayer base has almost doubled since the rollout of GST. The number of assessees covered by the GST at the time of its inception were about 65 lakh and now the assessee base exceeds 1.24 crores. The Finance Ministry said all processes in the GST have been fully automated. Until now, 50 crore returns have been filed online. 131 crore e-way bill have been generated since the launch of the system, of which about 40% are for the interstate transport of goods. The number of e-way bills generated has been growing steadily, with the highest single-day generation of more than 25 lakh bill took place on the 29th of February this year. The Union Government today said that the total number of recoveries from COVID-19 in the country has reached over 23,38,000. COVID-19 recovery rate in the country has improved to 75.27%. In all, 57,469 people have been cured of coronavirus during the last 24 hours. The Health Minister said the recoveries of COVID-19 patients in the country are more than 3 times the active cases. The single-day spike of 61,408 cases took India's coronavirus caseload to 31,06,348. The death toll climbed to 57,542, with 836 fatalities being reported in a span of 24 hours. There are 7,10,771 active cases of coronavirus infection in the country, which comprises 22.88% of the total caseload. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, more than 6 lakh tests have been conducted during the last 24 hours. The total number of samples tested for coronavirus infection so far has reached to over 3 crore 59 lakhs.
A 500-bed COVID-19 makeshift hospital was also inaugurated at Patna in Bihar today. The Prime Minister's Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situations, PM Cares Fund Trust, has allocated funds for establishment of this hospital. Preparations are in full swing for setting up similar type of another 500-bed COVID-19 makeshift hospital in Muzaffarpur district. The health facilities at COVID hospital at Beta in Patna is fortified with modern amenities and infrastructure and was developed by Defence Research and Development Organization. The hospital will help in improving COVID care facilities in the state. The COVID care hospital in Patna has 125 ICU beds along with ventilators. There are additional 375 normal beds for COVID patients not requiring intensive care. Every bed has been provided with the oxygen supply facility. Latest diagnostic tools and modern health infrastructure has been developed at this hospital. The doctors and paramedical staff at the hospitals are provided by the Armed Forces Medical Services. So far, out of the total 3,100 crore rupees received is the registered public trust. PM Cares in form of voluntary donations, 2,000 crore rupees have been spent to purchase 50,000 ventilators in the country. 1,000 crore rupees from the fund have been given to the states and union territories to take care of the migrant labourers, while 100 crore rupees have been given for the development COVID vaccine in the country. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has reiterated his government's commitment to provide appropriate treatment to all the coronavirus patients. The Chief Minister said that the arrangements in the COVID hospitals should always remain up to the mark. The Chief Minister was presiding over a high-level unlock review meeting. AIR correspondent reports that the Chief Minister has asked to ensure that the COVID patients receive quality treatment. Mr. Adityanath directed officials to increase bed capacity in the COVID hospital. He issued fresh directive to pay special attention to Lucknow and Kanpur and strengthen the health services in these districts. These two are the districts with highest number of COVID patients in the state. In last 24 hours, 749 new cases were reported in Lucknow, followed by 266 new cases in Kanpur. 63 people died due to the virus infection yesterday, taking the death toll to 2,987 in the state.
In Madhya Pradesh, the total number of COVID-19 cases has risen to 53,129 after 1,263 new positive cases were detected in the past 24 hours. With 23 patients succumbing to the infection, the death toll has reached 1,229. More from our correspondent.
As per the State Health Bulletin, 999 coronavirus patients were discharged from the hospitals in past 24 hours, taking the number of recovered cases in the state to 40,390. There are now 11,510 active cases in Madhya Pradesh. On the other hand, in relief for farmers, the state government has extended the last date of paying the premium for the Prime Minister's crop insurance scheme to August 31st in a view of the COVID-19 situation. Meanwhile, the State Health Minister Prabhu Ram Chaudhary yesterday informed that he has tested corona positive. He shared the information on his Twitter handle. Sri Chaudhary is the 7th minister in Madhya Pradesh besides Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan to test positive for the infection. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray today praised the Mumbara model to contain the spread of coronavirus in Mumbai's neighbouring Thane district. Addressing the civic officials of Thane Municipal Corporation through video conferencing, the Chief Minister asked them to remain alert to the possibility of a second wave of the deadly disease in the region. We have a report.
Despite Maharashtra continuing to record the highest number of coronavirus cases amongst all states in India, a densely populated town in Thane district is leading its mission zero. Over the last fortnight, Mumbra has reported 0 new cases on 2 occasions. It is noteworthy that the caseload on other days is less than 10. Thane's Deputy Civic Commissioner Sandeep Malvi attributed the success to sustained surveillance and prompt treatment in addition to residents developing herd immunity. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray asked the civic body not to become complacent and continue to work towards eliminating the infection. In view of the recent heavy rains in the region, the Chief Minister has further directed the civic body to keep a check on monsoon-related elements and maintain pothole-free roads. Nisha Rani, AIR News, Mumbai.
Assam Higher Secondary Educational Council has decided to reduce 30% of syllabus for this academic year due to COVID-19 pandemic. Sources said that notification in this regard will be issued soon. The decision was taken in the recent meeting of the Council's Academic Committee. This decision will be implemented for the students of 11th and 12th classes in all arts, commerce and science streams with certain conditions. Our correspondent reports that the Education Department has set up a task force which will decide on reopening of educational institutes. The Assam government is mulling to resume classes from 1st of next month, subject to the approval of the centre. Chief Executive Officer, Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board, Ramesh Kumar has said that all devotees coming from outside the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir are required to carry a valid COVID-19 negative test report. Mr. Kumar said the test report should not be over 48 hours old at the time of arrival to Katra base camp. He said that the devotees will not be allowed to perform the yatra without a COVID-19 negative test report. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that Mr. Sharma has requested the devotees to cooperate with the authorities of Shrine Board for safety of all the devotees. Pertinently, around 4 pilgrims have tested positive for COVID-19 since the start of the yatra to the Holy Cave Shrine, after which they were not allowed to continue the yatra.
BJP National President Jagat Prakash Nadda said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken bold initiatives to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Nadda spoke to the BJP workers in Tamil Nadu through video conferencing. In his address, Mr. Nadda said the Prime Minister has united all Indians in the fight against the pandemic. In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Director at AIIMS in Delhi, Dr. Randeep Guleria, advised the people to aggressively follow the social distancing and hand hygiene norms to check the spread of COVID-19 infection.
Regular hand washing should be done. So those who in an area where there is coronavirus infection should wash their hands regularly. You should avoid going to crowded places because if someone in the crowd is coughing and has the infection, he can spread to others in the crowded places. And if any member in your family has fever, cough, cold, he should stay at home and avoid going out so that he doesn't spread the infection to other people in the community.
The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight, will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Aparna Agarwal, Professor of Medicine at Lady Hardinge Medical College, will participate in the discussion. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. One can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on a Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. A delegation from Defence Research and Development Organisation DRDO today met with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to apprise him about 108 systems and subsystems which have been identified for designing and development by the Indian industry only. DRDO will provide support to industries for design, development and testing of these systems on requirement basis. This initiative will pave the way for Indian defence industry to develop many technologies towards building an Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Air Force Air Chief Marshal Rakesh Kumar Singh Bhadauria today launched a mobile application, My IAF, at Air Force Headquarters, Vayu Bhavan in New Delhi as a part of Digital India initiative. The application, developed in association with the Centre for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, provides career-related information and details for those desirous of joining the Indian Air Force IAF. The application is available on the Google Play Store for Android phones, is linked to IAF social media platforms and games, and also provides glimpses into the history and stories of valor in the Indian Air Force. In yet another ceasefire violation, Pakistani army troops initiated and provoked an indiscriminate firing with small arms and heavy mortar shelling along the line of control in Naushera sector of Rajouri district this evening. PRO Defence Colonel Devinder Anand has said that the alert Indian army troops guarding the fence are retaliating befittingly with equal caliber. The exchange of fire continued till reports last came in. There are no reports of damage to any property and loss of any life from the Indian side. Earlier, Pakistani troops violated ceasefire along the line of control in Sundarbani sector of Rajouri district this afternoon. The alert Indian army troops guarding the fence retaliated befittingly with equal caliber. Details are awaited.
In Jammu Division, a total of 7,700 bunkers, including individual and community bunkers, have been completed so far out of a total of 9,905 bunkers. Talking to AIR News, Divisional Commissioner, Jammu, Sanjeev Verma said that there has been a little busy of delay in construction of bunkers due to COVID pandemic, but the work on the remaining bunkers is in full swing and they would be completed soon.
सरकार ने इसको एक इम्पोर्टेंट फोकस रखा कि बंकर्स को जल्दी बनाया जाए. उसके बाद बहुत तेजी से इसका काम हुआ और आज हमारे लगभग 700 के करीब बंकर बन चुके हैं और बाकी का काम 9,905 बंकर हैं आज की डेट में जो अप्रूव्ड हैं, जो टेंडर हैं, जो अलॉटेड हैं. 800-900 बंकर्स पे काम जारी है. कुछ सुपरस्ट्रक्चर स्टेज पे हैं, कुछ फाउंडेशन स्टेज पे हैं, कुछ स्लैब लेवल पे हैं. वो भी अगले एक माह के अंदर जो उनके बनने की उम्मीद है. और बाकी भी जो बंकर्स हैं उनको भी तो लगभग अक्टूबर-नवंबर तक ये बंकर हमारे बनके तैयार हो जाएंगे.
In the bypoll held today in Kerala for one vacant Rajya Sabha seat, M.V. Shreyams Kumar of the Loktantrik Janata Dal, an ally of the ruling Left Democratic Front, sailed to victory. He defeated Congress rival Lar Varghese Kalpakavadi by 37 votes. While Mr. Kumar bagged 88 votes, Mr. Varghese got 41. One vote was declared invalid. A two-time legislator, Shreyams Kumar won the Rajya Sabha seat held by his late father, MP Virendra Kumar. The death of the 83-year-old veteran leader on May 28 had necessitated the by-poll.
In Maharashtra, a five-story building in Kajalpuri locality of Mahad in Raigad district collapsed this evening. AIR's Raigad PTC has reported that around 70 to 80 people are feared to be trapped under the debris. 22 people have been rescued from the debris. Around 50 families have been residing in the building, which is said to have been built a decade ago.
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Businesses with an annual turnover of up to 40 lakh rupees are GST exempt, says Finance Ministry. Total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country crosses 23 lakh. Recovery rate improves to 75.27%. 500-bed COVID-19 makeshift hospital financed by PM CARES Fund Trust inaugurated at Patna in Bihar. Government extends validity of motor vehicle documents till 31st of December, and Centre constitutes National Council for Transgender Persons. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The Road Transport and Highways Ministry has decided to extend the validity of motor vehicle documents till the 31st of December. The ministry had earlier issued advisories on the 30th of March and 9th of June this year regarding extension of validity of the documents related to the Motor Vehicles Act and Central Motor Vehicle Rules. It was advised that the validity of fitness, permit, license, registration or any other concerned documents may be treated to be valid till the 30th of September. The decision was taken after considering the situation due to the COVID-19 across the country. Enforcement authorities have been advised to treat such documents valid till the 31st of December. This step is likely to help out the citizens in availing transport-related services. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has said that public transport may be modernized, which is based on biofuels, CNG and electricity as fuel. Addressing a webinar today, Mr. Gadkari said most of the state road transport undertakings are incurring huge expenditure on conventional fuels, which are expensive. He called for moving on to biofuels, CNG and electricity as transportation fuel.
Railway Minister Piyush Goyal today reviewed the progress of Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation Limited, DFCCIL. Mr. Goyal directed authorities to strictly monitor work of all contractors. He stressed that resolution of all issues, including coordination with the states, should be done on a mission mode. The minister emphasized that innovative mechanisms to be evolved for a constant monitoring of the weekly progress of the project. Centre Maharashtra Government, Mumbai Railway Vikas Corporation and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank today signed a loan agreement for a $500 million Mumbai Urban Transport Project 3. This will improve the network capacity, service quality and safety of the suburban railway system in Mumbai. The project is expected to increase network capacity in the region with a reduction in journey time and fatal accidents of commuters.
The Centre has constituted a National Council for Transgender Persons through a notification. Social Justice and Empowerment Minister will be the ex-officio chairperson and Union Minister of State for Social Justice and Empowerment will be the ex-officio vice chairperson. The National Council will advise the Centre on the formulation of policies, programs, legislation and projects with respect to transgender persons. It will monitor and evaluate the impact of policies and programs designed for achieving equality and full participation of transgender persons. The National Council will also review and coordinate the activities of all the departments of government and other governmental and non-governmental organizations which are dealing with matters related to transgender persons. It will address the grievances of transgender persons and perform such other functions as may be prescribed by the Centre. The other members of the Council include representatives of various ministries or departments, 5 representatives of transgender community, representatives of NHRC and NCW, representatives of state governments and UTs and experts representing NGOs. A member of National Council other than ex-officio member shall hold office for a term of 3 years from the date of his nomination. Government today clarified that the guiding principles and standard operating procedure on preventive measures for media production to contain the spread of COVID-19 is applicable to all media production, including shooting of films, television production, web series and all forms of content creation in the electronic and film medium. It was released by the Information and Broadcasting Ministry yesterday. and it is available on the website of the ministry.
The Congress Working Committee CWC meeting was held in New Delhi today. Briefing media this evening, Congress General Secretary K.C. Venugopal said the CWC unanimously requested Sonia Gandhi to continue as interim chief till the time AICC session can be convened. He said CWC unanimously resolved to strengthen hands of Sonia and Rahul Gandhi in every possible way. Mr. Venugopal said CWC noted that inner party issues cannot be deliberated through the media or in public fora. He said the CWC urged and advised all concerned to raise such issues only in party fora in the interest of propriety and discipline. Mr. Venugopal said CWC authorized Sonia Gandhi to effect necessary organizational changes to deal with challenges facing the party. The meeting was attended by senior CWC members including Dr. Manmohan Singh, Ashok Gehlot, Captain Amrinder Singh, Bhupesh Singh Baghel, P. Chidambaram, A.K. Antony and Priyanka Gandhi among others. In a series on Atmanirbhar Bharat today, we bring you a special story on Ultra Swachh for disinfection of personal protection equipment, PPEs. Defence Research and Development Organisation, DRDO, has developed this disinfection unit named Ultra Swachh to disinfect a wide range of materials including PPEs, electronic items, fabrics and others. The Delhi-based laboratory of DRDO, Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, has developed this product. The system uses an advanced oxidative process comprising of multiple barrier disruption approach using ozonated space technology for disinfection. Ultra Swachh is double-layered with specialized ozone sealant technology, assuring trapping of ozone for the necessary disinfection cycle. It also has catalytic converter to ensure environment-friendly exhaust. The system is in compliance with international standards of industrial, occupational, personal and environmental safety. Ultra Swachh comes in two variants, namely ozonated space and Trinatra technology. An age-old temple pond, Kalyani, in the religiously significant Kaivara in Chintamani Taluk of Karnataka was transformed into a beautiful reservoir by villagers under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Our correspondent has the details.
The beautiful age-old Kalyani with stepping stones behind a temple was turned into a dump yard with foul smell. The Jilla Panchayat used Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme to clean the Kalyani of all the dump. Today the Kalyani has water reserve for people living in this water-stressed area. The Panchayat created 1,454 man days to employ 176 persons to clean the Kalyani in 4 months. Today the water has seeped into this traditional temple reservoir, turning an eyesore into an important source of water to the local villagers. The Kalyani is now linked to a borewell for supply of water and is fenced. An estimate says that the Kalyani can provide 19 lakh litres of water to the local population. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
According to the 2011 census report, there is 70% literacy in Udhampur district of Jammu and Kashmir, yet the underprivileged sections of the society face challenges in enrolling their children to schools. However, the Back to School initiative is bringing a change in the scenario. District Commissioner Udhampur Dr. Piyush Singla said that in a resurvey, district administration was able to identify 3,100 students hailing from a very poor background who had the tendency to leave schools. Out of the identified students, 2,095 have been enrolled in the school, which increased the overall district enrollment ratio by 2.6%.
अप्रैल 2019 में डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने एक बैक टू स्कूल इनिशिएटिव लॉन्च किया। मेन मकसद इस इनिशिएटिव का ये था कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जितने भी स्कूल से बाहर बच्चे हैं जो किसी भी कारणवश पढ़ाई नहीं कर पा रहे हैं उसको आइडेंटिफाई किया जाए और पूरे जिले भर में कुछ 3,000 बच्चे ऐसे आइडेंटिफाई किए गए जो आउट ऑफ स्कूल हैं। जिला भर में 2,095 स्टूडेंट्स को जो नियर बाय स्कूल्स हैं उनमें इनरोल कर लिया गया है। जो एग्जिस्टिंग हमारी स्कॉलरशिप स्कीम्स हैं उनमें भी उनकी मदद करने का निर्णय लिया है और सभी स्टूडेंट्स को किसी न किसी स्कॉलरशिप में हम लाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। साथ ही साथ जो नहीं पढ़ पा रहे हैं उनको रेड क्रॉस की मदद भी दी जाएगी।
A student, Makina Kumari, expressed happiness after her enrollment into the school.
मेरा नाम मदीना है, मैं फर्स्ट क्लास में पढ़ती हूँ। मुझे टीचर पढ़ाती है। मुझे इधर आके बहुत अच्छा लगा। मैं पहले स्कूल नहीं पढ़ती थी, मैं पूरा दिन घर पे रहती थी। अब मुझे इधर आके बहुत अच्छा लगा।
Former Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley is being remembered on his first death anniversary today. The veteran BJP leader contributed immensely to nation building and left behind a legacy as Finance Minister during his tenure from 2014 to 19. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a tweet said that he misses his friend a lot. The Prime Minister said that Arun Jaitley diligently served India. His wit, intellect, legal acumen and warm personality were legendary. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today paid tributes to Gujarati poet, playwright and social reformer Narmada Shankar Dave Narmad on his 187th birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said the poet, who is considered to be the founder of modern Gujarati literature, introduced his fearlessness and creativity through a magazine called Dandiyo. Mr. Modi also greeted people on the World Gujarati Language Day. In a tweet, Mr. Modi called upon Gujaratis to make Gujaratiness meaningful with its values, identity and sensitivity.
In Gujarat, heavy to very heavy rain is lashing several parts of state since last 2 days. The incessant rain has created flood-like situations in many districts of Saurashtra and North Gujarat. AIR Ahmedabad correspondent reports that about 1,600 people have been shifted to safer places from Mahesana, Patan, Rajkot, Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar and Sabarkantha districts.
Following heavy to very heavy rainfall during the last 24 hours, most of the rivers in north, central and Saurashtra region are on spate. About 250 talukas of the state have received up to 300 mm rainfall. Jodia, Tankara, Morbi, Kadi and Umarpada have recorded maximum more than 250 mm rainfall. 206 reservoirs of the state have received new inflow of water. 76 reservoirs are overflowing and the people staying in the downstream area have been asked to remain alert. More than 1 lakh cusecs of water are being released from Bhadar 2, Machu 2, Kadana and Ukai dams. Local weather office has issued heavy to very heavy rainfall warning in Saurashtra, Kutch and North Gujarat during the next 24 hours. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. It will have a minimum temperature of around 26 degrees Celsius and maximum of 34 degrees. Mumbai will experience generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kolkata will witness generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. The minimum temperature in the metropolis will be around 25 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 31 degrees. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature will be around 20 degrees, while the maximum will be 30 degrees. Ladakh will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 18 and 37 degrees Celsius. It will have partly cloudy sky. In Muzaffarabad, there will be thunderstorm with rain. The temperature will hover between 24 and 34 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 23 and 32 degrees Celsius.
Domestic equity benchmarks today rallied, driven by strong buying in financial counters. The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 364 points to close at 38,799. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange also added 95 points to settle at 11,466. In tennis, Rohan Bopanna and Canadian partner Denis Shapovalov lost in the opening round of the Western and Southern Open men's doubles event against Marcel Granollers and Horacio Zabolas in New York today. Bopanna and Shapovalov lost 4-6, 6-7 to 2019 US Open runners-up in the first round match of the hardcourt tournament, which is a build-up to the US Open. It was the first competitive match for Bopanna since the Davis Cup tie against Croatia in March this year, where he partnered Leander Paes. The US Open starts in New York on the 31st of this month. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Businesses with an annual turnover of up to 40 lakh rupees are GST exempt, says Finance Ministry. Total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country crosses 23 lakh. Recovery rate improves to 75.27%. 500-bed COVID-19 makeshift hospital financed by PM CARES Fund Trust inaugurated at Patna in Bihar. Government extends validity of motor vehicle documents till the 31st of December and Centre constitutes National Council for Transgender Persons. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.